Hey, this video is going to be part of a 6 video mini-series on doing quadratic functions and word problems. These are probably the most difficult part of quadratic functions is anything to do with word problems. So I'm going to be making 6 videos. This is video number 1. So this is a revenue problem. We all love mini donuts. At a local carnival, you sell mini donuts for $6 a bag and you sell 200 bags a day on average. A business analyst has ran your numbers and estimates that you would sell 20 more bags per day for each 30-cent decrease in price. What is the maximum revenue you could make a day, and what price should you sell your donuts to receive this revenue? Where we want to start with this problem is just kind of the basic ideas of what revenue is and how we build this. When you're looking at building a revenue in a business, there's kind of 2 things that are important. You have to have a product, and you're going to sell a certain number of products, and you're going to sell it for a particular price. So we're going to have a number of items, and in this case, the items that we're selling is mini donuts. So you're going to sell a certain number of bags of mini donuts and you're going to sell them for a particular price. When you multiply those 2 things together, you're going to get your revenue. What's important in this case is trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to, or how are we going to build this? In terms of number of items, and I'm going to highlight this in red, the number of items that we know is it's talking about 200 bags. And what it says is that we're going to sell 20 more every time that I decrease the price by 30 cents. So that has to do with our price. What we know about the price is that we're going to be selling it for $6 a bag and that there's going to be a 30-cent decrease. What we want to focus on in terms of the words here is this word each. You're going to be decreasing the price 30 cents a certain number of times. And this, because this is variable, you could decrease it once or twice or 20 times, whatever you want to do. This is where your variable comes in. So we're going to set up a variable and it's going to be x. And x is going to represent the number of times the price is decreased by 30 cents. Now we're ready to start building our formula. So I'm going to use R for revenue. And what this is going to be equal to is the number of items. So we're going to start with our 200 that we normally sell, but we're going to add 20 more each time I decrease the price by 30 cents. Notice that I'm putting my variable in. So if I decrease the price once, that's going to result in 20 more bags of donuts being sold. If I decrease it twice, then I'm going to add 40, so on and so on. For the price starts at $6, but I'm going to take away 30 cents. And I'm going to take away 30 cents a certain number of times. Again, this is where my variable is coming in. I don't know how many times, so this is where I have to input that variable. I could decrease it by 30 cents, 60 cents, 90 cents, so on and so on. From here, what we can do is graph this. What we're going to be looking for is a maximum value. So let's graph it and see what happens. We want to know what is the maximum revenue. What I've done here in my calculator, you're going to go into y equals. I've already put this into our y1 just to save us a little bit of time. The next thing before we go and graph this is that we're going to need to adjust our window. I find that people really struggle with figuring out what this window's got to be, and it kind of changes for each word problem. What's important is you know what your variables are standing for. In this case, x is the number of times that you're decreasing the price by 30 cents. So it wouldn't make sense that you're going to decrease the price by a negative amount because then that actually means you're increasing the price. So x should start at 0. Doesn't really make sense to have it be negative. X maximum. Well, what is the maximum number of times that you think you would decrease the price? I mean, 10 might be okay, but honestly, you're probably definitely not going to be decreasing it more than 20 times. So let's go there. Scale doesn't really matter. Let's keep it there. Y minimum is, again, what's Y? Well, Y is your revenue. You really hope you're not going into the negative revenue. That means you're not making money. So let's just put it at 0 for now. The maximum revenue. Well, before, what I was selling it for, I was selling 200 bags at $6. 200 times 6 is 1,200. And we're trying to find the maximum. So let's hope that we go a little bit higher than that. Let's maybe put 1,500. Again, this is just estimating. And if we find that our graph doesn't fit this very well, we can always come back and adjust it after. Let's hit graph. Here's what we get. What we're looking for is the maximum. So I need to find this value. On a TI calculator, how you do that is you're going to go second, trace, and you're going to go to number 4, which is maximum. It's going to ask you to left bound and to right bound. So you're going to take your cursor. First, you're going to go to the left side, hit enter. And then you're going to go to the right side and you're going to hit enter. And again, you're really trying to go purposely to the left and purposely to the right of that maximum. It'll ask you to guess, but you can kind of just skip through this, hit enter again, and you get your maximum. So what we have here is a max at 5 and 1,350. So to answer our first question, what is the maximum revenue? Well, remember that the Y value was actually talking about the revenue, my R. So the max revenue is, oops, I can't spell right now. Max revenue is $1,350 per day. What we also want to know is what price should you sell this at? Remember, this is where we got to be careful. The price we're selling it at is not 5. Remember that this is X. X is the number of times that we decrease the price by 30 cents. So what we want to do here is figure out what the price is. This is where we got to be careful. When we see that 5, it's not telling us that we are selling it for $5. We are taking the price down by 30 cents 5 times. So this portion of our formula is telling us about the price. So we started at $6, but I'm taking away 30 cents 5 times, and that's going to tell me the price that I should be charging. So when we put that into a calculator, what we get is $4.50. And that is the price. That concludes video 1. Make sure that you're following along and watching the rest of them if you still need help.